Alright. Hey everybody, Speed Generations here. And I just finished Sonic Prime Season 3. I cannot be more happy with what I was expecting it to end. And obviously by the end of this video you'll find out because there are 7 episodes. You're probably wondering, why are there 7 episodes? I don't know, but I think it was because the way it ended was probably because the way it was. I'm not 100% sure, but I mean, I think I'll figure out more near when we hit the last episode, that when we talk about it. So first we're going to talk about the first episode. So we're going to start with Grim Tidings. Okay, so this episode I've already seen on YouTube. I'm pretty sure you guys have seen this too. I mean, I'll explain at least a little bit about it behind everything and what I think of the episode because I did not give my thoughts on it. I only showed it on the community tab and showed that episode 1 was out, and probably all of you watched it. So I'm just going to give you a brief, review of it. Obviously, I'm not going to spoil episodes 2 through 7 because most of you don't have Netflix from what I heard. So we're going to start with episode 1, Grim Tidings, like I said, and this is after the betrayal of 9. So it basically takes place after they couldn't save Green Hill and everything started decaying. Shadow had to tell him we had to get out of here and they had to leave. So the thing about this episode was I thought it was going to be like that comic dub where we have a little moment of where Sonic actually cries in the longest time. He has not cried in the longest time because Sega has straight out said that they don't want their mascot crying. Apparently shows too much weakness to them. Anyways, I kind of thought that's what it would be about the first episode of Season 3. It wasn't, and honestly, overall, what I think of the episode, it's pretty good. Both Sonic and Shadow were perfect duos in this episode as well. And I kind of like how we got a little bit more of Shadow screen time, since a lot of people were like in the trailers for Season 2 that Shadow was showed off so much, but he was never actually more in depth into the episodes. He was there for probably 5-6 seconds, and then you didn't really see him again and probably until the next episode. And then you only got to see him in the next episode for probably 5 to 6 more seconds. But it's kind of great that they decided to add a little bit more of him in there. I kind of I kind of just like the episode. I'm going to give that an overall 10 out of 10 for episode 1 because as I said, the duo is perfect. More Shadow screen time is perfect. And I kind of like how Shadow is sort of like a brother, being very protective. And this is going to be a bit of a spoiler warning for one of the next episodes. Not episode 2. The next episode after, I think. But this is going to be a spoiler to another one of the episodes that end up coming up eventually. So, yeah. Grim Tidings is pretty good. Overall, obviously you've seen it, so all you need is my rating on it and my review on it. Honestly, I did not see any animation errors, because even though in most Sonic media there are something that's missing or something that's glitchy or something that's just completely wrong with it that they forget to do or add, that usually is the most biggest problem in Sonic games. Sometimes I think sometimes shows. I mostly think it's games though that has that problem. But yeah, I didn't see any animation errors. It was perfect the way it was. So that's episode 1. Episode 2, Dome Sweet Dome. So this episode, I'm not going to spoil it too much, is basically that they have to put a dome around them because of 9. So, honestly, there is no more screen time for Shadow because, obviously, as you've seen in the first episode, he got knocked out into a little pit. And you really never got to see him again. And neither will you in episode 2. So, yeah. But episode 2, honestly, I like how they're having to figure out things and how that the doctors are finally on Sonic's side, which you would never expect from any Sonic thing, but as they said in the Season 3 trailer, is if they don't do anything, then their whole Shatterverse is completely destroyed. So that's why, and that's the only reason why they teamed up. But, I mean, it's still accurate to what it is. It still kept some of the stuff that was there. And some of the things that were teased in the trailer from some of their voice lines, they were in there, but some of them didn't fit very well after you watched the actual episode. So it felt like a little bit weird, but at the same time, it was fine. But anyway, episode 2 is great as well. Another 10 out of 10. No animation errors either. And I really like how 9 could kind of just go to any universe and literally just put his big head up and watch Sonic and talk to him. I know that was a bit of a spoiler, but I mean, that's what happened. So, alrighty. Now, I think we should move on to episode 3. And the reason why I'm trying to get these, like, it feels like I'm trying to say these episodes all fast, but I'm not. Basically, it's just because I don't want any spoilers for this, like, as I said before. So that's kind of why I'm kind of running through these episodes pretty fast and what I think about them. I don't really want to spoil them for you. Obviously, I'm showing screenshots of whatever I need to put on screen after I'm done voicing over this video. But episode 3 is No Escape. So basically, I think at this time, everybody is still, near New York, and they have to travel to no place because they forgot a couple of people, and they went to go get them, and of course, obviously, 9 was trying to stop them again, and they finally get back with them, the Eggmans, and frickin' Rebel. No, I'm getting it wrong. Well, Rebel is sort of arguing with the Eggmans too, but it's also Renegade Knuckles that's arguing with the Eggmans as well. And their dialogue is actually pretty funny when they fight with each other, so I kind of appreciate that. There's at least a little bit of humor. Season 2 didn't really have much, and neither did Season 1. I think Season 3 had the most. But anyway, that was episode 3, and now we're finally going to move on to episode 4. Episode 4 is 9's lives. I'm not saying it right, apparently. So, basically, in this episode, they had to figure out how they're going to stop 9 and how everything's going to place out, because every single world is falling apart as we know it. And obviously, you can see the little tears through it, even from the inside when you go inside the portal. So that's actually kind of interesting how they do it that way to make it show like it's just a little universe. So it's kind of interesting. But anyway, yeah, hold on. Sorry. Anyway, Sonic has to give himself up, because that is the only option, because obviously he knows who he's after. Sonic himself knows from 9 what he wants. He wants him. So he gives himself up to talk to him and try to get through to him. It worked a little bit, but then all of a sudden Sonic's shoes started going off and everyone came in and it started a fight. And you know that scene from the trailer? That's when this all starts. And I really like where they're all paused in that one animation going right at each other. It looks so freaking cool. I think that's the best wallpaper for a computer or something. I'm gonna be honest. But yeah, that was another 10 out of 10 as well. So yeah, they basically that's when the fight started, was basically episode 4, I think? Hold up. Sorry, guys. Yeah, okay, 4. So yeah, that was episode 4. And another 10 out of 10 for episode 4. There was one episode I saw animation error in, but it was not this one from what I remember, because the fight and everything just started, and I saw the animation error in when they were fighting. So, anyway, let's move on to the next episode. Episode 5. Homesick Home. So, this episode is basically where they continue the fight, and where it continues to go on for another so minutes, and 9 just keeps duplicating all these versions of Sonic, and Knuckles, and Amy, and Rouge, and the birdie that you obviously seen from the trailer. So, I mean, I'm at least giving you a little bit of detail because some of this stuff was actually in the trailer itself. So, that's why. But, yeah, I mean, that was another 10 out of 10 episode. I liked how everyone was bonding, and finally, for once in a while, I'm gonna say this because later on I'm gonna bring him up again. No Place Knuckles. I kind of forgot his Dread, sorry. Dude, I forget, I don't know why I forget their names often. I'm a horrible Sonic fan. Anyway, yeah, Dread. Honestly, ever since I first seen him, and it was episode 2, he just seemed quiet at first, and then episode 3, he went into the fight with them. Episode 4, he also went into the fight with them. And episode 5, he also went into the fight with them. Now, it's about to get worse for him, because you know how everyone had a problem with him in Season 2 saying "Meet Beauty" all the time, and that's all he cared about? Well, you're about to find out in one of these episodes that I think he might have came back, but also I think he got a redemption. Now, we'll go with episode 6. The Devil is in the Tails. Okay, that's actually kind of a clever name. So, everyone gets destroyed because they bring in this Big Bot, this Grim Big. And Sonic gets pretty upset about it because he was like, "No, how dare you, Big 2. And then after his friends and everyone gets knocked out, he's done. He's done. Like, you have pushed him over the limit if you screw with any of his friends. You screw with any of his friends, you have put him over the limit. You have seriously put him over the limit." And that's what happened. He put him over the limit. And he started going and attacking at 9. And I actually got to see a little bit of a fight between them. I'm like, wow. An actual fight between Sonic and 9, which was actually surprising. Because you would think Sonic would try to reason with him the whole time. Like I said in episode 2, he tried to reason with 9. And that's what he did in episode 1 as well. He tried to reason with 9. And he still wasn't getting through to him, no matter what he did. And 9 ended up using more of the power, which kept making the Grim go, like, more and more away, and just everything else. And eventually, this was all going to end in a bad way, because 9 still was not realizing what he was doing, no matter how many times Sonic was trying to get through to him, because in episode 2, 9 thought he was lying to him. Right after he said that. He thought I was lying to him so he can get him into bait. That's what he thought. But he wasn't lying to him. He eventually found that out. But I mean, anyway, we're not going to get that until the last episode. But, yeah. So, like I said, they got into a fight, an actual fight. And then this is where I'm confused. Because they get into the actual fight in this episode, but then the next one, it's like they stop. So episode 7, which is the last episode of season 3, they obviously continue from where 9 was fighting him, but they didn't actually show where they had a little fight. And it didn't happen until a little later that Sonic and 9 got into a fight again, an actual kind of physical fight. And then all of a sudden, Sonic was realizing what 9 actually wanted, because he didn't realize it the whole time when they were actually together and friends. So he sees that, remember in, I think it was season 2, he built this little tree hut thing for Sonic. And he was going to be happy about it because you know what Sonic wanted back the most, that he heard from Nine the most, or that Nine heard from him the most? Green Hill. That's what he wanted back. So he was thinking of making a world between him and Nine that would only be them two for the rest of their lives. But obviously after Sonic seeing that, he's realizing he actually cared for him, and he would have done that for him either way because they were pretty good friends at the time. And then he was still trying to get through to Nine, and he didn't want to fight him again. I mean, I don't know what's going on. I mean, they got into 2 physical fights, and then Sonic just doesn't want to fight him anymore. I don't know. It's weird. But after those physical fights get over, well, the physical fight Nine is trying to put up gets over, Shadow and the rest bust through that door, and Shadow's like, it ends here. And they try to stop him, and then Mr. Dr. Eggman's like, Sonic, are you insane? Are you really going on his side right now after he just betrayed all of us? But if you think about it, he's trying to still get through to him without anybody else trying to attack him because he still wants Nine to understand where he's coming from too. And so that's what happens. By the way, I forgot about Dredd. He got a redemption in episode 7. So I'll go over that real quick before I continue any further. I keep forgetting because I'm skipping parts. But he gets a redemption. And because they wanted him and the guy, I don't know his name, I think that's Jacksepticeye actually. One of them was Jacksepticeye. I can't remember if that was him or not. If that was like Jacksepticeye, I don't know. But yeah, that's what happened, and Dredd looks back down at Black Rose, and he's like, should I really keep going for this treasure, or should I go back and help? He went back and helped, claimed Black Rose as captain. And that was the sweetest moment ever, and that was the best redemption Dredd could have had, and same goes for Rusty Rose. She had the best redemption in Season 2, but even more in Season 3 because she was hanging out with all 3 versions of herself, and they were all calling each other sisters. There's some wholesome stuff in this one. This one has the most wholesome stuff. Even Rusty Rose got sort of an redemption back because the birdie that she had once stuck inside of her, I think so, there was a new one that came right back. And I'm not sure if that was the same one. I'm not sure if that was a new one to restart her redemption over, but that was sweet. All these little redemptions are sweet, and Sonic was even trying to call Shadow his brother, and Shadow just wasn't having it. Shadow never gets the wholesome moments because he's always like, frick this. But there's a lot of wholesome moments in the last episode because obviously it's the last episode, and finally Sonic goes home. But I'll explain that in a minute for Sonic going home. So, obviously, Sonic did a decision in this episode that led to, what you've seen in the trailer. Obviously, also, if I haven't said the episode, it's From the Top is the episode. But anyway, Sonic has to give himself up because he knows this is the only way to restore reality and get back to normal. But there was a chance of him not surviving, and there was a chance of him not existing anymore. I mean, I think that's still both, but he survived it. But unfortunately, he was slowly dying. And as you've seen in the trailer, Shadow was taking him back. Shadow wasn't the one first taking him back. It was all 3 of the Roses that were taking him back. And then they had problems on the way. And then Shadow was like, okay, I'll take it from here. And there was one point where Sonic was just, he was almost done. He was literally almost done. And they made it. They made it still. But I also forgot about a sweet, wholesome moment with Nine, too. So I might as well go over that now. I can't believe I'm getting out of order here. I'm sorry if I am, but I mean, This is the way I'm reviewing Prime Season 3, so... Anyway, 9 gets a wholesome redemption moment from Sonic, and everything goes perfect again, because even when they got the redemption moment, the Eggmans went back to themselves. They didn't care. They went right back to themselves right after it was all over. And it was stupid. I mean, they never learned their lesson anyway, so I'm not too surprised. Yeah. And honestly, this was perfect. But anyway, 9 sends him through a void, and Shadow gets tired of it, and both Renegade and Shadow are like, hey, when can we get him? Rebel's like, just wait, and then boom, they finally actually send him through the void, and it's kind of funny. But they thought after Sonic giving up all the energy, it would work, because after they used the full shard power plus him, it exploded. And I was like, oh no, yeah, we're definitely gonna have another season. And then no, 9 pointed it out that everything was back and reforming once again. But I need to say this quickly before time runs out on this video thing here. For this video clip, sorry. So, another wholesome moment between 9 and Sonic is he gets to hug Sonic almost crying, saying that, I think it was like a thank you or something. Okay, wait, I can't remember. I'm sorry, my cat kept distracting me the whole show, and it was kind of annoying, and that's why I don't remember too much. Otherwise, I would have had everything implanted in my head perfectly. But I just don't, because I was distracted. So anyways, they had that wholesome moment, and Sonic went off, and that's when, obviously, Sonic was about to die, and after they got right in the portal, it was back to normal. It was. Sonic's home was back, and it restarted from where it originally left off from Season 1, and instead of Sonic messing up his mistakes again, he learned them. He learned them throughout. And I'm glad that's what the show was trying to teach us in the first place. So they were trying to teach us that Sonic isn't always, a person or a hedgehog, for that matter, that is perfect. Because in this world, nobody is perfect. And that's what they're trying to show us, is nobody is perfect, but they can learn from their mistakes and make them right next time. And this is what Sonic did. And instead of going to that Paradox Prism, he for some reason hugged Eggman in that machine. I don't know why. But then, again, they followed along with the original plan that they were supposed to do before the whole Paradox Prism thing happened, and Sonic being oofed over with. And, yeah. Then Shadow comes in and steals the Paradox Prism, so it's kind of funny. Then they ended up with that, and then Sonic gets chili dogs and hangs out with his friends, and Tails is like, Sonic, you sure you're okay? You've been acting weird ever since the cave. Because they don't understand a thing. Because I'm pretty sure when they planned out that specific plan to go attack Eggman, they really just... They're probably confused because, again, they were frozen in time. They were kind of just like mere statues. And that's the way they were when obviously Sonic returned home. So, yeah, I'm glad the show ended off like that. I was hoping that was the way it was going to end off because obviously if people are saying Sonic Prime is canon, then it would not only fall somewhere in the timeline, it would also make sense to bring Sonic back home. Because obviously in the now Sonic games, and from those Sonic games from wherever it was canon from, apparently it was canon after Colors, is what I heard. Theory, obviously, though. Is that's where it took place in the timeline. And now that everything was back to normal, it was it. That was it for the show. And I'm surprised they didn't do another full 8 episodes because I'm pretty sure that would have made 24. I could be wrong. They probably weren't there probably already were almost 24. I'm pretty sure they're like 16. But I'm pretty sure even if 7 episodes, that probably still would have made up 24. Now, obviously, from that Blu-ray back cover, they didn't mean a 4th season. They weren't even hinting at that. Apparently, it was for the 4 different Shatter Spaces, and not including the Grimm. Because at the time of Season 1, the Grimm was not shown off. The Grimm was not shown off until Season 2 and Season 3. So, yeah, I think that's what it really means. But that's another 10 out of 10. And I think the episode I seen where 9 just lost his tufts on top of him, I think was like episode 6, I'm pretty sure was... Yeah, episode 6, I'm pretty sure, is when he lost it. So that was the only animation error in episode 6. But I loved this. It was wholesome. I'm glad things returned back to normal. I'm glad Sonic got to make up his mistakes and finally prove his mistakes and be better. And Shadow was being a little bit too hard on him. That's the thing. Shadow was being too hard. And that's not what he should have done. He should have understood Sonic a little bit. But I mean, Shadow's expression when Sonic started getting all grayed out and everything, and when he was first getting zapped by the whole thing for the Paradox Prism, he was actually seemed a little bit worried about him. So you can tell, obviously, somewhere down there, Shadow cares, and he just doesn't want to show it. And, you know, that's just Shadow. He's not good at showing emotion, but if it comes to someone almost dying, I think he could show that emotion. And I don't think he'd want anyone else close to him die, especially after Maria. I don't think he'd want that again. That's probably why he only showed expression once he felt like Sonic was going to die. Because I think he cares about everybody deep down. It's just, he's not a shower until it looks like it's their fate. But, I kind of like how in Season 2, Sonic saved Shadow from almost dying from the Void, and now in Season 3, Shadow saves Sonic. So it's like a little swap kind of friend thing. What the... I forgot there was an ad going on because I was paying attention to the episode, not the ad. I just decided to set it there because I knew I was going to be bored if I had to, like, you know, wait until 20-something minutes or something like that for it to be done. But, yeah, anyway, I didn't realize there was an ad in there. Of course, they always got to pop up. But anyway, that was it. 10 out of 10 for Sonic Prime Season 3. I loved how it ended off. I wish we got a 4th season, because probably it would have explored a little more about maybe what happened after Sonic got his world back. We only got to see a little bit of it, not too much, but we got to see a little bit of it. I still do appreciate that, though. I'm glad Netflix stepped up to make a Sonic show. Netflix has never made a Sonic show before this, and it took like another probably 14, 15 years to make a show in the first place for Sonic again. And we're probably not going to get that for another 4 to 5 years now. I mean, it took so long because of Sonic's popularity wasn't the best, and then the movies started coming out, and then more games and everything else, and some companies just felt it was the right time to step up and make a show, I think. And that's what you just gotta do when it's something, a video game series or something is popular enough again, or popular in the first place. There's a show that needs to be made. I mean, Netflix made the Cuphead show, but I forgot about it over years. It used to be the popularest thing in the world, and could have been their time to do it then, but they did it last year. So, I mean, no, I think it was the year before. But, either way, I still appreciate that we're getting shows of some iconic video games we either grew up with, or either that finally gets popularity back. And we finally get to see a strike rise up again for them. So, that's it for today's video. I'm glad to see the way it ended. I'm glad for everything. I was actually, unfortunately, kind of expecting another season. Not unfortunately, I was kind of just not sad. What am I even talking about? I was hoping for another season a little bit, because maybe season 3 could have ended off on a bad note. Who knows? But it didn't. And that's a good thing. So, with that, Sonic Prime is now over, and we probably will not see another Sonic show again until another few years. Unless Netflix announces that they're renewing the brand for Sonic Prime, but making an entirely new show. Maybe. Maybe they'll pick up on a new Sonic show. Who knows? But, anyway, that's it, guys. We have the Sonic Movie 3 coming this year, so I will review that, put my spin take on it. No spoilers either on the movie, because I know everyone's going to be able to see that. Not everyone's going to be able to see Sonic Prime, obviously. But the episodes will start falling on YouTube. Maybe a couple short ones, maybe a couple long ones, maybe the full ones. Sometimes Netflix does that. But, yeah, I'm going to finish up editing this video, and then I'm just going to go chill out and, do everything else afterwards. So, yeah, as I said again, enjoy your day, everybody, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.